The life expectancy at birth reflects the population's overall mortality rate. It is the typical time frame for a person's lifespan. Low life expectancy is caused by a variety of factors, but poor health is its main cause. People or populations with short life expectancies are typically unwell and frequently suffer from chronic illnesses and hunger. For instance, the likelihood of long-term survival is reduced for many Africans who have a poor life expectancy because they lack access to clean food and water. Here is the list of the top 10 countries with the lowest life expectancies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Let's get moving. Number 1. Central African Republic. Corruption, authoritarianism, and underdevelopment have afflicted the CAR in recent years, which sparked a rebellion and the Central African Republic conflict in 2012 and 2013. Because of this war, the government was essentially overthrown in 2013, and the CAR was left in anarchy, a non-state. In the words of Prime Minister Nicolas Tiange, the president and prime minister resigned at the beginning of the year. As of April 2014, 1.6 million people, or one-third of the population, are food insecure, and thousands of people have died in the violence that has continued for more than a year. In the nation with a Christian majority, tens of thousands of Muslims have also been ejected from their homes. The CAR is presently experiencing a crisis, and its population expansion has ceased. Number 2. Chad. Current estimates indicate that Chad's population will grow throughout the rest of the century. 16.43 million people live there as of 2020, and by 2099, that number is projected to rise to 61.5 million. By 2076, the population of Chad is expected to exceed 50 million. From 2019 to 2020, the population of Chad is expected to increase at a rate of 3%. The population increased by roughly 479,000 as a result. This rate has gradually fallen over time as fertility rates have reduced as well. Despite this, with 5.8 births per woman, Chad continues to have one of the highest fertility rates in the world. Unfortunately, Chad is among the world's poorest nations. Rapid population increase has the potential to worsen Chad's major issues, which include a high risk of floods and droughts, widespread poverty, and periodic civil war. Number 3. Lesotho. Infant mortality in Lesotho is high at 8.3%, and the prevalence of HIV and AIDS is also very high. It has one of the highest HIV prevalence rates in the world at about 24%. The country's life expectancy is only 42 years old, and over half of women under 40 carry HIV in urban areas. Number 4. Nigeria. The largest country in Africa by population is Nigeria. According to UN estimates, Nigeria's total population would be at 401.31 million by the end of 2050. Nigeria will have a population of more than 728 million by 2100 if current trends continue. Nigeria will overtake the United States in the population in 2047 when its population reaches 379.25 million, according to the United States Census Bureau. With such figures, Nigeria will overtake China as the third most populous nation in the world. Primary causes of Nigeria's population growth include early marriages, high birth rates, and limited access to family planning services. About 37 births per 1,000 persons are registered in Nigeria. Number 5. Sierra Leone. Being a young nation, Sierra Leone's growth rate has consistently been higher than the norm. The country's population has been steadily growing ever since the turn of the century, and the yearly rate of change has been greater than 2% since then. In Sierra Leone, the median age is 18.5 years, which is unreasonably young and results in a highly young working population. A woman typically gives birth to 4.5 children, and this high birth rate is what drives the nation's rapid economic expansion. It is not anticipated that Sierra Leone's yearly growth rate would stay above 2% for very long. According to current forecasts, the rate of growth will reach a maximum of 2.14% before dropping sharply to 1.22% by the year 2050. Number 6. Somalia. Current estimates indicate that Somalia's population will grow quickly for the remainder of the century, reaching roughly 75.03 million by the year 2099. The population will be nearly 5 times higher in 80 years than it is today, with a current estimate of 15.89 million. The rate of population growth in Somalia is 2.92%, and it has been rising since 2015. This rate increases the population by roughly 450,000 despite negative net migration. The instability and poor healthcare in Somalia are worsened by the country's fast population increase. Additionally, studies suggest that the danger of civil conflicts is significantly higher in nations like Somalia, 70%, where 60% of the population is under 30. Number 7. Ivory Coast. Current estimates indicate that the population of the Ivory Coast will increase for the remainder of the century. The population is estimated to be 26.38 million as of 2020. The population is projected to top 50 million by 2049. Ivory Coast population will expand by 661,730 individuals between 2019 and 2020 at a pace of 2.57%. The main driver of population increase in Ivory Coast is the comparatively high fertility rate of 4.68 children per woman. The population has likewise been maintained very young, having a median age of 18.9 years. Number 8. South Sudan. The population of South Sudan is predicted to increase for the remainder of the 21st century. The population, which was 11.19 million in 2020, is projected to increase to 19.96 million by 2050 and 31.74 million by 2100. Between 2019 and 2020, South Sudan's population increased by 1.19%, or 131,000 people. Although the nation's net migration is still negative, its fertility rate of 4.7 births per woman is still considered to be quite high. This results in a population that is exceedingly youthful. Number 9. Guinea. After the 1995 peak, the growth rate in Guinea somewhat decreased, but has subsequently stayed above average. The yearly growth rate was 2.28% in 2000, and as of 2019, it was 2.65%. Given that a large portion of the population lives in poverty, rates this high are certainly putting a strain on the nation's citizens' finances. According to forecasts, Guinea's growth rate will start to slow down soon. The growth rate is predicted to reach its high at 2.61% before falling below 2% in 2047. According to these projections, Guinea's population will double over the course of the next 30 years, reaching 17,631,380 people in 2030, 22,059,928 in 2040, and 26,852,336 in 2050. Number 10. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea's government is regarded as one of the worst in the world for human rights, and people trafficking is becoming an increasingly serious issue. However, the population of the nation is still expanding quickly. Currently, Equatorial Guinea is expanding at a 2.8% annual rate, and this trend is anticipated to continue in the years to come. If this video is informative, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.